everyone, so today I am going to be doing a first impression on a BB cream and concealer. I thought I would switch it up a little. I was going to do a stick foundation, but then I was like, I haven't done BB cream in so long. In fact, I don't think I've ever done a BB cream first impression, and I haven't worn BB cream in a really long time on camera. I still do use BB cream off and on in my real life, everyday makeup, you know, in summer and stuff like that when I want sunscreen, a bit of coverage, but nothing too heavy. If you don't know what BB cream is, basically it is usually an SPF skincare kind of product, but it does have covering properties, so it's kind of like a foundation, moisturizer, skincare, sunscreen product all in one. And I believe they originate over in Asia, and they're just such good products. Loads and loads of brands do BB creams these days, so yeah, this one here, I don't even know what brand this is by, but it's called the Full Cover BB Cream, SPF 50+, whitening and anti-wrinkle. Don't mind my hair, by the way. These roots are just absolutely horrendous. Look at this. I get them done in a week or two. My hair's just growing so fast lately. Like, look at this, just side note. It's so long and this is curled. When it's straight, it's even longer. I'm so happy. Also, this is not a cold sore or anything. It was a pimple, which I popped, then it turned into a scab, and then it kept splitting open every time I like smiled or talked or laughed. The like little scab was really dry, and yeah, it kept splitting open, and then it got drier and crusty, and it's kind of sore. So I've got like heaps of oil just kind of sitting on it right now to try and moisturize it because it's just so dry. Anyways, I've also got the Full Cover concealer. And yeah, I don't know what brand it is because it's all in Korean. I love this packaging though. Look at the patterns on the containers. So cool. I love it. And I was really intrigued in this kind of product because a lot of the time BB creams are more of a natural finish, like natural to medium coverage most often, in my experience anyway. Whereas this one says full cover, so I'm excited to see if it actually is a full coverage or, you know, what the deal is. So before I begin, my skin type, if you're new to my channel, hey! I've got normal to sometimes slightly dry, dehydrated skin, usually more dehydrated. At the moment, my skin's actually pretty good. It's just normal skin. I don't have oily skin or anything like that. So let's dive in. Because this is a BB cream, I'm not going to use a primer just because I never use a primer when I use my BB creams typically on just a normal day-to-day basis. I do use a powder and I do use a concealer, so I'll be using this concealer and I'll just use my normal MAC Studio Fix powder on top. I'm going to start with the BB cream. So this is 50 ml and I can't actually read that much about it. You know what? I'm going to search it now online and read you know, what it says it does so that we can actually do a proper review here. Okay, here we go. We're getting somewhere. This is the Aritaum. Is that how you pronounce this? Aritaum? 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 I don't know. It says flawless skin with an amazing cover. HD soft focus powder absorbs sebum efficiently and covers skin flaws, blemishes and pore and wrinkles, etc. perfectly by the diffused reflection of the light at the same time. That's why it makes skin tone looking bright. I love the translations. It's so funny, like when I lived in Korea you got the best ones just because obviously sometimes for some languages I guess there's not a perfect translation or they don't, you know, get the right information and the translations are just awesome. No darkening, perfect sustaining power all day long. So it's supposed to be long lasting, I'm guessing. Oh, there you go. It says it helps to make fair skin without darkness as the first makeup is. So I'm guessing what that means is it shouldn't oxidize, I'm assuming. And then it says Tripe Functional Cosmetic. It can make perfect makeup with multi-functions like blocking UVs, wrinkle improvement, whitening, as well as perfect cover and sustaining. So basically wrinkle improvement, I'm guessing it's just because it's like sunscreen, you know, prevent wrinkles. And it says whitening, which in my experience, I believe that just means whitening scars and freckles and stuff like that. It doesn't literally like bleach your skin or anything. It just helps to get rid of any scars, pigmentation. Now, what I normally do to apply a BB cream is I will use my fingers, which I know I barely ever do. I don't usually use my fingers to blend, but I like to start with my fingers just to kind of even it out a little bit, and then after I've done that, I go over with a brush just to get rid of any excess and to help it look really, really flawless. So I'm just gonna do a few kind of dots and then begin to smooth it out. You can smell the sunscreen in it, which I love the smell of sunscreen. It's one of my favorite scents ever. I don't know if that's weird. Let me know down below if you love the smell of sunscreen or hate it. So I know some people hate it, but for me, it just reminds me of summer and I can't get enough. So this color here, it probably looks decent. It might be a little bit too pale for me, but I can just add a little bit of bronzer later. I'm gonna film a makeup tutorial today as well. I'm really excited about it. It's gonna be like a Valentine's Day look. So straight away, like this feels very, very thin. I thought for some reason it might be a little bit thicker just because it says it's a full coverage. BB creams are typically quite thin and easy to blend because it's kind of like skincare, like I said. So I'm just spreading it out quite evenly, like you can see. And now I'm going to go in with my vegan flat face brush. This one here is also vegan, the black one, but this is called the vegan flat face brush. It's the limited edition set. Can't get enough of the smell of this. It smells so good. It smells like summer. So it's really easy to blend. Basically just feels like a moisturizer on my skin. I'm interested to see how well this lasts throughout the day because it just feels very lightweight and thin. Let me zoom you in a little. By the way, I've been getting questions, and no, I do not use a skin filter in my videos. I use iMovie. I don't even think you can do that on iMovie. And as you can see, you can still see a few of my imperfections, like for example my freckles over my nose, a few on my forehead. The redness that seemed to cover up quite well, and this little thing's still peeking through a little bit, but it's not too bad. The coverage is definitely not like flawless. I think it's definitely more coverage than a lot of other BB creams though. I don't think I'd call it a full coverage, and I almost don't want to build it up because it already feels like not thick on my skin, but it just feels a little bit like slimy, I guess, like moisturizer. It doesn't feel like foundation, which kind of goes tacky or like sets down a bit. It just feels like slimy-ish. But once we put on our powder, that should make that feeling go away. It's just that I don't want to build it up because I feel like it's just going to get really messy really quick. So I'll leave it like this, and then what we'll do is we will try out the concealer where I need it. So this is the concealer, liquid concealer, and this is in the shade light beige. By the way, I don't know if I said this is in light beige as well. 01, the lightest shade. And on camera I feel like it looks a little bit pink, but in real life it does not at all. It probably looks a little bit grey in real life if anything, which is very typical of BB creams, but they usually kind of adapt to your skin after a while. But I'll keep you updated on that colour. It doesn't bother me at all. It just looks a little bit dull, I guess, but once you put on the rest of your makeup it usually looks fine because, you know, your powder and your bronzer and everything kind of evens it out. Okay, I'm just going to read you some info about the concealer now. By the way, both of these products you can get quite cheap online, so I'll find some links down below which are like cheapish. So you get 25 ml of product in this, which is a crap ton for a concealer. This item is a liquid concealer which covers blemish on wide spots clearly and softly with strong coverage. With waterproof system, it works against sweat and water. It contains rosehip oil to protect your skin and prevent dryness. I'm going to do it under my eyes and also on blemishes. So first let's start under the eye. I'm trying to see this oh yeah, that's like so much thicker. Look at that. That's way thicker than the BB cream. That is a proper thick concealer. I hope it's easy to blend. Ooh, I feel like I might have too much. Let's just dab it. I feel like it's so much darker than the same colour of BB cream. Like it's the same shade. I'm confused. This feels a little bit sticky, but not like super sticky, just a tiny bit tacky, I guess. And it blends out really easy compared to how thick it is. I thought it might be a hard one to blend, but it's really not. I feel like these products would go really well with a sponge as well if you just want to use a sponge. Well, that cover's really good. I feel like it will definitely crease if you don't set it well. Like even when I just leave it for a couple of seconds, it starts to gather in those creases under my eyes. I wonder if you could use this just like all over your face because it blends out so easily. I feel like you could just use this as a foundation. Okay, let's do these. And then I think I'm going to put some of my freckles as well. This actually does feel quite moisturizing as well. Like the feeling of it, like it just feels smooth. It covered really well. I wish the packaging was different. Like it's hard to get just a little bit out and you only need a tiny amount. Okay, let's do some on the nose. Oh, I think I've got too much. Yep, I'm just gonna wipe off the excess, otherwise I'm gonna have like a friggin' intensely covered nose. Ooh. I actually think I probably like it better on the face than under the eyes. Even though it does a good job under the eyes, I feel like it'll crease, but we'll soon find out. Okay, under the eyes, I'm going to take a little bit of Summer Bisque by Bare Minerals, and this is a shimmer tulip brush, and I'm just going to set that concealer underneath my eyes. So that's how it looks once it is set. I think it looks really good. It doesn't look cakey or anything. That looks so healthy. Okay, so obviously with BB cream you can just leave it as is and not set it. For me, I always usually would set it, unless I'm just going to the beach or something like that, where I would just put on BB cream and just leave it as is. But if I was wearing it properly, I would use powder. So I'm going to use powder today, but just remember you do not have to wear powder with this. So this here is C2 Max Studio Fix powder, and I'm using a powder brush. And I'm just using a really small amount, like I literally just tap it once or twice in my powder and then just stipple it. This is looking so flawless. I think I just spat everywhere. So it's very typical of a BB cream to have a slightly kind of dewy finish. One, because that's just the kind of texture that a lot of people over in Korea and other Asian countries prefer, like the really dewy, youthful look. Plus, it is a kind of moisturizing product, so it has that, you know, moisturizer kind of finish. It's very glossy, hydrated looking. And once I set it with powder, as you can see, it still has a really kind of natural glow to it, but definitely not as glossy as just when you don't set it, of course. Love the way it looks right now. Okay, I feel like it's gone ever so slightly more cakey under my eyes, if you can see. Just slightly, but it's still not terrible. Like, I'm not too bothered, but I better show you. As far as the actual face skin, it looks so flawless. Like, my skin literally just looks airbrushed. It looks so good. It's just glided over my pores. I'm gonna zoom you in on a really low exposure so you can see like everything. So as you can see, we are dark right now. This is much darker than real life lighting, but you can see how well it kind of just goes over all of my pores and everything. Like, you know, usually you have pores all through here. It looks like I've got none. Well, not none, but you know what I mean. It's really, really good. It hasn't emphasized any pores or anything. Like, it just looks so freaking good. But as far as redness, like, covered most of the redness. I definitely could have used a little bit more concealer on that area if I wanted to, but meh. I just did a flash test, and you guys would have guessed it, but of course it does have some flashback, so it's definitely not the best thing to wear if you're going to be photographed with flash, especially. And I feel like now that I am further away from the camera and less zoomed in, you can see the color a lot more accurately. So yeah, I guess I'll just talk to you guys in a few hours. So it is at 10:09 right now, so we'll just say 10 AM. I'm gonna come back in a few hours and we'll see how it's holding up. I'm gonna go do the rest of my makeup, so yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon. Hey everyone, so it is now 1:30. What time did I start? Was it 10 or 9? I feel like it might have been 10, so that's like 3.5 hours. Anyway, I have to say I have been touching up around my lip line with the concealer because I just did a lip swatch video. So yeah, this is like kind of fresh, but I do want to say, like, it didn't cake up or anything in that area, even though I like put it on over and over and over again. Other than that, everything is still original or the same. I haven't touched up any of the base. I have, of course, added bronzer and contour and all that kind of stuff, but look how good it's looking. I am so happy with how it looks. It looks so smooth. It looks radiant. It looks fresh. It doesn't look heavy. It doesn't look cakey. It doesn't look like it's emphasized anything. Like, it's kind of sinking in, sinking. Kind of sinking into an expression line up here, but and it's gripped on to that dry skin on that zit scab situation. Other than that, it hasn't gripped onto any other skin anywhere. Like, it hasn't flaked anywhere. It is just looking pretty good. Oh, actually, one thing I have to say, it looks like it's kind of melting around my nostril a little bit. Okay, so we've got the dark lighting going on. Under my eyes, it hasn't creased too badly either, considering it's such a like creamy kind of thick formula. Yeah, I'm actually quite surprised it hasn't creased more than it has. Like, I mean, this kind of creasing would not bother me at all. It looks like it's getting a little bit cakier around my eyes and nose, like just a little bit. So I'll keep an eye on that to see if it gets any worse throughout the day, but far away you can't really tell at all. It's only because I'm like right up in your grill right now. I'm really happy with how it's looking so far. Like, it looks so smooth on my face. So yeah, the only things I am noticing, a little bit of melting. It looks like it's starting to get a little bit cakey just under here and maybe on my nose a little bit. So yeah, we will see if it gets worse. Hello, so it is now 6 PM. So it has been like 8 hours. I think. I can't remember what time I started. I did go have some lunch before, hence the ugly liquid lipstick right now. I had fries and salad, just to keep it nice and balanced. Anyway, just kidding. So, I don't know how I got lipstick on this hunk of dry skin, but anyway, let's ignore that. Around my nose, I don't feel like it's melted that much more. Maybe a tiny bit more. It hasn't sunk into my expression lines anymore either. It's just kind of stayed the same. And as far as the cakiness situation under my eyes, it has not changed whatsoever, but I feel like, oh nah, it doesn't look worse, I don't think. It has faded around my mouth a little bit, but that's probably from my napkin at lunchtime. As far as redness on my cheeks, my lower cheeks, definitely looks fine. Like, I don't think there is a problem with fading, which is really strange because I mean most foundations fade for me down there all the time. So I'm quite impressed with the fact that it hasn't faded. I am actually really liking it so far. I like the way it looks. It just looks so glowy and beautiful and even. I just like it a lot, apart from around my nostrils, but that always happens to me. Honestly, you guys, if you watch every single one of my first impression videos, you guys know it's always fading hair, melting hair. Like, those are like the two biggest issues I deal with. To be honest, I could probably start trying to use like an eye primer around my nostrils. That'd probably help a lot with the whole melting situation, I would guess. But yeah, anyway, I will be back in 3 more hours or so. We can see how it looks at the end of the day. Hopefully it won't change much more because I feel like it hasn't changed much since my last update. Talk soon. Hey everyone, so it is the end of the night now. It's 9:30, so it's been on all day long, almost 11.5 hours or something like that. Anyway, I can't really remember what time I started. I should really start writing it down. So overall, I think it looked pretty good all day. Obviously I've got a really intense light shining on my face right now because it is dark outside. Ooh, isn't this lighting flattering? So I have the good old ring light on. It does feel a little bit oily along my T-zone. Like when I press my finger, I don't know if you can see, but it is a little bit oily. Appearance wise, it still looks decent, but it definitely has melted more around my nostrils. I definitely think it looked better in the last update than now, which is kind of like duh. But at the same time, it's not exactly like the worst looking thing at the moment. Like, I could still manage to leave the house looking like this, of course. It doesn't bother me too much, but I definitely think it's getting near the end of its wear, you know what I mean? I don't think it would last much longer looking any good. As far as like sinking into expression lines, you know, it hasn't really gotten worse at all. It hasn't sunken into my pores or anything like that. It's just melted around my nose and gotten a little bit oily on my T-zone, just a little bit. Overall, I'm actually quite impressed with this. For a BB cream, which usually they kind of soak into your skin and don't last super long. They're kind of more just like of a tinted product. As I said at the beginning of the video, they don't exactly market themselves as being long lasting. I am pretty impressed with this one. It's definitely probably one of the better ones I've tried, and I have tried quite a few, especially a few years ago when I was super into them. Another thing I forgot to mention with these BB creams, if you love a really heavy, full coverage, they are really good to use as a primer as well. They create a really nice base and of course even out your skin tone. Then you can add a little bit more foundation on top and your powder and everything. Sounds like it's a little bit over the top, but honestly, like, I used to do it all the time and it really does give you a really good finish and doesn't necessarily look cakey depending on the products you kind of pair up with it. So yeah, I definitely think I will be using this more often. I feel like my contouring looks really good today. It hasn't faded like at all. Can you see this? Usually this is bright pink by now. It's looking good. Just looks a little bit oily on my nose, which annoys me. I swear it's oil, because if I just take my powder and just, yeah, see, that makes the world of a difference. Like, that was oily. If you're a toucher-upper, could just do that and carry on with your day, but I don't really touch up usually. Yeah, overall I'm impressed, especially considering it is quite an affordable product. I definitely think I'll continue to use this. I like the formula, I like the way it feels, and I like the way it looks on my skin, and it has sun protection, so that is a plus for me as well. I can't really think of many negatives with it. Like, obviously it started melting and stuff, but let me know what you guys think of it down below, and let me know if you've tried it before or if you're going to try it. I'd love to hear from you. And if any of you guys out there have oily skin, feel free to leave your review down below if you've tried this as well, because I'm really curious to hear how it works on oily skin. I don't really know how well it would work because it is super moisturizing, and it did go a little bit oily on me, and I don't personally have oily skin, but you know, if you have tried it, let us know how it went. And other than that, if you would like to leave a comment and request a new first impression, feel free. Let me know what first impression you want to see next, what foundation or product or whatever. I'd love to hear from you, because I really want to get back into doing lots and lots of first impressions. Love filming these. And until the next time, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.